Assalamualaikum. This is Group 7, and today we'll be presenting our report, Power and Authority. Each member of the group has prepared a part of this discussion, and we've worked together to make it clear and informative. We hope you watch and listen attentively and learn something new from our presentation. Assalamualaikum. My name is Norjanna Amatonding, and today we are going to look at two very important concepts in organization, known as power and authority. Let's first look at power. Power is the ability to influence or control the behavior of people and events. Managers can use their power to motivate or force employees to behave in a certain way. Power doesn't always need permission. Power can be exercised through force, permission, or even expertise. In simple terms, when someone can make others act in a certain way, they are exercising power. There are 5 sources of power. These are legitimate power, coercive power, reward power, referent power, and expert power. These sources of power can further be divided and grouped into 2 main categories. These categories include positional power and personal power. Let's talk about first, positional power. Positional power refers to power given to an individual based on their specific position in the organization. There are 3 types of positional power that can exist. The first one is known as legitimate power. Legitimate power is based on the leader's formal position. An example of this is the teacher in a classroom, which has the authority to give assignments, manage behavior, and grade the students. Another example of it, our president or prime minister. The next positional power is known as coercive power. Coercive power is based on leader's authority to punish or force followers to comply. An example of it is a strict boss or supervisor which may threaten to fire or demote employees if they don't perform well. Other examples are the police officer, coach, or trainer. The third type of positional power is known as reward power. Reward power is based on the leader's authority to reward their followers for their performance. Example is manager who promotes an employee who exceeds target. Other examples are team leader who gives verbal praise or recognition to boost motivation. Moving over to personal power. Personal power refers to power someone has as a result of their personality and unique attribute or charisma. Personal power can be divided into 2 main types. The first type of personal power is called expert power. Expert power is based on the leader's personal expertise in given field or situation. Example is a doctor giving medical advice. Other examples are engineer or accountant, and so on. The second type of personal power is known as referent power. Referent power is based on the leader's personal traits that are admired by followers. Example of it is the celebrities or influencers. People follow their fashion, opinions, or endorsements out of admiration. Other examples are charismatic leaders, like Dr. Rizal or a team captain.
Let's move over to authority. Authority refers to the powers and rights to do things that organization bestows on a specific manager. These rights include enforcing certain action, the right to punish failure or mistake. It is therefore awarded as part of position power. Authority is a legitimate form of power. This means people accept or recognize a person's right to lead, give orders, or make decisions.
Authority usually comes with a role, a title, or formal rules, like judge, police officer, or president. There are several types of authority, but it depends into 2 perspectives. First is management perspective. Second is sociological perspective.
The first type in management perspective is line authority. Line authority is the most direct type of authority. It gives a person the official right to make decisions and command subordinates.
Next is the staff authority. This type of authority is advisory. Staff members support line positions by offering expertise and recommendations, but they don't have the power to enforce decisions. Last type of authority in management perspective is functional authority. This type of authority is hybrid. It allows staff personnel to exercise limited authority to specific areas, even over people outside their reporting line. Second perspective is sociological perspective. Sociologist Max Weber identified three sources of authority. First, traditional authority. It is based on long-standing customs, beliefs, and traditions. Another type of authority, under sociological perspective, is charismatic authority. It is based on the personal charm, inspiration, or heroism of leader. A perfect example of it is Dr. Jose Rizal. He is admired by many Filipinos because of his fighting, values, and personal courage. The last type of authority, under sociological perspective, is legal rational authority. It is based on formal rules, laws, and procedures. Example is police officer enforcing laws. Another example is judge making decisions in a courtroom. You might wonder the difference of power and authority. Here's a key distinction. Power can exist without authority. For example, when someone uses influence or fear. But authority always includes an element of accepted legitimacy. It is power that people respect and follow because it is viewed as rightful. In short, power is the ability to lead, while authority is the right to lead. To conclude this discussion, power and authority are not just political terms. They exist in our daily lives, in school, families, workplace, and society. To continue this discussion, Sir Abdul Walid will now discuss the next topic, which is cultural aspects.
Exploring cultural influence on power and authority. By the way, my name is Abdul Walid Imam Abangad, and this is my part to our report. In cultural influence on power, there is traditions, norms, and values, while in power structures and cultures there is hierarchical, egalitarian, and bureaucratic. Culture aspects. Cultural aspects of power and authority encompass the diverse ways societies define, legitimize, and exercise influence. Cultures vary in their emphasis on individual versus collective decision-making. The degree of difference to authority and the way in which power is distributed and maintained, the difference shape social norms, interaction, and even the structures of organization. Key cultural variation in power and authority. Number one is individualism versus collectivism. Number two is the power distance. Number three is formal versus informal authority. Number four is decision-making processes. Number five is cultural hegemony. And the last one, the number six, is the resistance to authority. So now, I will give you example of cultural differences. In some culture, like those in East Asia, leaders are expected to be authoritative and directive, while in other culture, like some Western European countries, a more collaborative and participatory leadership style is preferred. Also, in some culture, leadership is often hereditary with power passing down through families, while in others, leadership is based on merit or election. Also, in some workplace, decisions are made at the top of the hierarchy with little input from the lower level employees, while in others, there is more employees' participation in decision making. So now, understanding these cultural differences in power and authority is crucial for effective cross-cultural communication, leadership, and management, especially in globalized context. That's all. Thank you.
My name is Asnaira Akmad, and the topic was given to me was basis of formal authority. Basis of formal authority refers to the legitimate power that individual or institution holds, typically recognized and accepted by others within a social or organizational structure. This power allows the holder to make decisions, command obedience, and enforce rules. Ang otoridad ay tumutukoy sa lehitimong kapangyarihan na hawak ng isang individual or institusyon, or mas kinikilala o tinatanggap ng iba sa loob ng isang strukturalang lipunan or organization. According to a foundational sociologist, Max Weber, there are three types of formal authority. The first type of formal authority is legal rational authority. The basis of this authority was laws, rules, and procedures. The legitimacy of this type comes from a legal framework. Example of this one is contract, constitution, and organizational policy. Ang legal rational authority ay nakabatay sa mga batas, patakaran at proseso. Ang pagiging lehitimo nito ay nagmula sa isang balangkas ng batas. For example, ang isang pulis nagpatupad siya ng batas or isang CEO na namamahalay sa isang corporation or kumpanya. Siya ang CEO or ang leader ng company na ito. Ito ang pinaka-basic example ng legal rational authority. The second type of formal authority is traditional authority. The basis of this is long-established customs, cultural practices, or heritage. The legitimacy of this one is inherited or passed down through generations. Example, a tribal chief or monarch whose authority is accepted because it has always been that way. Ang ibig sabihin nito, ang traditional na otoridad ay nakabatay sa matagal nang nakaugalian or nakasanayan na kultural na mga gawi or pamana. Ang pagiging lehitimo nito ay namamana or napapasa generation to generation. Halimbawa, yung leader ng tribo or yung hari na kanila pinaniniwalaan ay tinatanggap dahil sa tradition. Last but not the least is the charismatic authority. The basis of this one is personal qualities, charisma, or inspiration. The legitimacy, followers believe in the leader's extraordinary abilities or vision. So, ang pinakahuli, ang karismatikong otoridad. Nakabatay ito sa personal na mga katangian, karisma, or inspirasyon. Ang pagiging lehitimo nito ay nakasalalay sa paniniwala o tagasunod sa mga natatanging kakayahan or pangitain ng pinuno. Example, mga pinuno tulad ni na Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, or revolutionaryong figura. For example nito is yung nakikitaan nila yung leader na yon na may katangian siya na pwede nilang magiging pinuno. And that's all for today. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig.
Assalamualaikum and good evening, everyone. I am Sittie Guiaria, Inok. So there are three types of authority in management perspective. But let us discuss first what is the line staff authority. It is a structure used in many organizations to define relationships, responsibilities, roles, and duties. It helps clarify who gives orders, the line authority, who advises the staff authority, and who provides specialized control over a specific task, the functional authority. So there is a departmentation of regular operations and there is functional specialists to perform those specialized activities. So it is also based on command and advice. So sa isang organization or ministry, these three authorities present na siya. So nag-i-exist the si line authority, si staff authority, and functional authority within the organization. Assalamualaikum and good day. First, the line authority. So line authority is the direct chain of command within an organization. It gives managers the formal power to direct and control their subordinates. So all the employees falling within the manager's span of control are therefore under his line of authority. He directs and controls their activities by means of direct instructions and order, which includes the delegation of tasks to subordinates. So they are directly responsible for accomplishing the objectives of the organizations. In line authority, always remember that it flows from top to bottom. It involves decision making related to primary organizational operations, and it is essential for achieving organizational goals. So, an example, just imagine this as an example. A manager or a CEO Sa kanya nanggagaling yung direct instructions and order, and he will give these orders to the supervisor in production, supervisor in management, supervisor in blah blah, or etc., which is under his authority. So now those supervisors, upon receiving the direct order, will follow and also directs the machine operators or those subordinate na under sa kanila, and uh, sila naman yung gagawa nung instruction and order na binigay nung head nila. Another example is pag may activity kayo sa organization ninyo or sa office ninyo. So, yung head ninyo magbibigay ng instruction na ikaw ang bahala mag-welcome ng lahat ng paparating na bisita. Then another instruction na given naman doon sa kasama ninyo na siya naman yung assigned sa mga pagkain. So, sila yung magiging food committee. And next, doon sa kasama nyo naman is sila yung assigned sa program flow activity ninyo. So, lahat ng direct orders and instructions na yun is nanggaling sa head ninyo para ma-achieve ninyo yung objective ng activity na yon. First, the line authority. So, next, we have the staff authority. So, in staff authority, it gives specialists or advisors the right to advise or support line managers but not to command. Staff authority is essentially a support function, providing expertise and recommendations to help the line managers make better decisions and improve operations in the organization. So always remember that in staff authority, it is supportive and advisory in nature. It has indirect relationship with the core operations and no direct decision making over line staff. Also, in staff authority, it encompasses providing support in decision-making process, implementing policies and procedures, and offering expertise across various management levels within the organizations. It it also plays a critical role in helping to facilitate the decision-making process by advising on best practices, analyzing data, and providing recommendations to higher management levels. Also, these individuals serve as key players in the execution of organizational policies and procedures, ensuring the adherence and compliance throughout different departments. Staff authority and line authority represents distinct aspects of organizational control and decision making. So, while line authority involves direct command, instructions, and compliance within the chain of command, ang staff authority focuses only on providing support, guidance, and expertise to enhance operational efficiency. So, in terms of organizational structures, line authority plays a crucial role in the hierarchical system where decisions flow from top level management down to frontline employees. So this ensures a clear communication channels and quick implementation of directives. On the other hand, staff authority acts as a support system, offering specialized knowledge and advice to assist in decision-making process. So this division of roles helps in balancing the operational aspects of an organization with the strategic guidance provided by staff authorities, creating a cohesive and efficient working environment. An example of this is a legal advisor, where when there is a project proposal in a company or your office or your organization, The company lawyer gives legal advice to protect the company. So they can recommend what's legal or risky. Pwede silang mag-advise or bigay ng opinion kung pwede ba nalang i-pursue yung project or hindi, supported by their own research and knowledge on that specific project. So mainly nagbibigay more on advisory or support talaga yung staff authority. So uh, they can advise, but they cannot stop a project, only advise management to reconsider it. So staff positions are like trusted consultants inside an organization. Next, we have the staff authority. Last, another type of authority and management perspective is the functional authority. So, functional authority is a limited right of a staff person or department to direct activities in other departments related to their specialty. So, it's a specialized type of authority or control that allows the individual with expertise in a certain area to ensure the compliance and consistency with established standards even across the different departments. So it gives the staff departments like HR, accounting, and safety officer a formal power to make decisions and enforce rules in specific functions, even though they don't normally supervise those employees. So a staff expert, not your direct boss, is allowed to act like a boss, but only in a specific situation or function. They can give commands, not just advice in those special cases. An example of this is a safety officer has functional authority to enforce safety regulations across all departments, even if they are not under his direct line of command. They can shut down unsafe operations. So, pag sinabi ng safety officer na hindi safe ito and can compromise the company or organization, kahit na nasa ibang department ka pa, pero under his expertise, kailangan mong mag-follow sa kanyang instruction. So, if a different department is not following safety protocols, the safety officer can require changes. So that authority exists because safety rules affects the whole organization. So another example or explanation is an IT director. So they have functional authority to enforce cybersecurity policies across all departments. So they can mandate password changes or restrict access to certain systems. Sinabi niya, lahat tayo is kailangan magpalit ng password kasi we are compromised. So, or maglalagay siya doon na restricted kayo sa access na yun, only the boss or only this certain person can access that kasi hindi nga pwede. And then all employees, even managers, must comply to that. So that is the three types of authority under management perspective.
Mm. Good day, everyone. I am Mr. Alocilja, and together with Mr. Awal, we will be tackling about exploring centralization and decentralization in organizations. Organizations must choose how they distribute authority and decision-making power. Two common structures are centralization and decentralization. Each has its own strengths and weaknesses depending on the size, goals, and nature of the organization. Advantages of centralization. First is clear chain of command. Decision-making authority is concentrated at the top, which ensures clear lines of authority and accountability. Number two, focused vision. Top executives can maintain a unified direction and strategic control, aligning decisions with long-term goals. Number three, faster decision-making. Since fewer people are involved in decisions, processes can be quicker, especially in crisis situations. 4. Improve consistency. Uniform policies and standards are easier to enforce across all departments, promoting organizational coherence. Disadvantages of centralization. First is unsuitable for large organizations. As the organization grows, centralized systems become less efficient in managing diverse operations and locations. Number 2, overburden top management. Concentrating all decisions at the top can overwhelm leaders and lead to slower operations over time. Number 3, potential misuse of power. With few people holding decision making authority, there is a higher risk of abuse or biased decisions. Number 4, low morale and motivation. Employees may feel undervalued or powerless, leading to disengagement and reduced job satisfaction. And number 5, lack of environmental adaptation. Centralized structures may be slow to react to changes in local markets or communities due to the rigid hierarchy. Next is advantages of decentralization. First is enhanced local decision making. Branches or units can make decisions based on local conditions, improving relevance and effectiveness. Number 2, improved responsiveness. Teams closer to customers or stakeholders can act quickly and more appropriately to meet their needs. Number 3, increase innovation and creativity. Employees are encouraged to think independently, fostering innovation and problem solving. Number 4, greater employee empowerment. Giving employees responsibility boosts motivation, engagement, and morale. And number 5, efficient resource utilization. Resources can be allocated based on real-time local data, leading to better efficiency and cost effectiveness. And the disadvantages of decentralization: first, potential for inconsistent decisions. Different units might follow their own policies, creating inconsistency in services or branding. Number 2, increased operational costs. More decision makers mean more administrative layers and potential duplication of roles. Number 3, slower response on strategic issues. Local decision making might delay alignment on organization-wide initiatives or major changes. Number 4, risk of misalignment with organizational goals. Local units may prioritize their interests over the organization's broader mission. And number 5, difficulty in coordinating efforts. With many centers of decision making, it can be challenging to synchronize actions across departments or locations. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. I am Nasrullah Awal, and I will be tackling about the factors affecting centralization and decentralization. For the factors affecting centralization, we have four. Number one is the size and complexity. In smaller or less complex organizations, centralization is more common because decisions can be made quickly at the top without much need for lower level input. The fewer the branches or departments, the easier it is to maintain centralized control. In contrast, as the organization grows, centralization may become less efficient. Number two is the employee skills and competency. Centralization often occurs when top leaders believe that employees lower in the hierarchy lack the experience or skills to make sound decisions. In such cases, decision making authority remains with senior management to minimize risk and ensure consistency. Number three is the strategy and vision. If the organization's strategy emphasizes uniformity, control, and a clear chain of command, often seen in companies pursuing cost leadership or standardization, centralization supports that approach. Leadership tends to keep authority centralized to align operations with a unified vision. For the last one, the time frame for decisions. When decisions need to be made quickly, especially in crisis situations or highly regulated environments, centralization can be more effective. It reduces time spent on consultation or delegation and allows top management to take immediate action. For the factors affecting decentralization, we have three. Number one is the organizational size and complexity. Larger organizations, especially those spread across multiple geographic locations or divisions, tend to decentralize. This is because centralized control becomes inefficient and slow. Decentralization allows local units or branches to respond to their specific needs and challenges. Number two is the leadership style and philosophy. Leadership that values empowerment, employee engagement, and innovation is more likely to embrace decentralization. Participative or democratic leaders delegate authority to encourage ownership, motivation, and initiative among employees. For the third one, the external environment and pressures. In rapidly changing or highly competitive environments, decentralization allows organizations to be more agile. It empowers local managers or departments to respond quickly to external pressures like customer demands, market trends, or technological changes without waiting for top level approval. That would be all. Thank you.
Leadership in organization plays a crucial role in shaping culture, driving change, fostering innovation, and maintaining employee motivation and morale. There are types of leadership style. Different situations and team dynamics require different leadership approaches, and these are the following. The first one is the transformational leadership style. Inspires and motivates through vision and enthusiasm. For example, sa isang company nagtatrabaho si Juan de la Cruz, and that company is in state of bankruptcy due to some reasons. Ngayon, si Juan de la Cruz bilang leader, or let's just say, siya yung CEO ng company na yun, instead na mawala ng pag-asa or isisi ang dilemma that they were facing, he has this thing na very optimistic or positive niya na yung hinaharap ng kanilang kumpanya na pagsubok ay masosolve, and there, he inspires and motivates yung kanyang team kasi na-visualize niya na kaya pa din nilang i-resolve yung problem na yun. Second is the transactional leadership style. This focuses on tasks, structures, and rewards or punishments. For example, sa leadership naman ito, dito magagamit yung punishment and reward, wherein in every task na ibibigay ni leader sa kanyang team, it corresponds punishment or reward depende sa outcome ng task na yon. For example, may quota na kailangan ma-meet. To those who meet the said quota might get a bonus. The third one is the servant leadership style. This prioritizes the growth and well-being of the team members and the communities to which they belong. For example, ito yung tinatawag natin na leading by serving. Hindi lang siya basta-basta nagbibigay ng task, but instead, nilalagay niya yung sarili niya sa sitwasyon mismo para malaman niya what went wrong or bakit yung team niya hindi makausad sa mga tasks. The fourth one is the autocratic. Leaders makes decision alone. Efficient but can lower morale. So dito naman po, yung autocratic leadership style, ito po yung si leader lang mismo yung nagde-decide without consulting his or her members. Fifth is the democratic leadership style. Ito naman po ay ang opposite ng autocratic leadership style, wherein it encourages participation, boosts engagement, and innovation. And last one is the laissez-faire leadership style. It gives autonomy to employees, and this type of leadership style is effective with highly skilled teams. Understanding team dynamics is crucial for strong leadership and overall success in an organization. A team leader should be familiar with the strengths and weaknesses of each team member to fully utilize their potential in completing a specific task. When a leader understands the personality, skills, and work style of each individual, it becomes easier to delegate responsibilities more effectively. That concludes our presentation on power and authority. We hope this discussion has provided you with deeper insight into how these two concepts function within organizational and governmental structures and how they influence leadership and decision making in public administration. Thank you once again for your time and attention.